the most awaited budget is here. And why it was most awaited? Because this is the first time after election we are presenting a budget in front of you. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has presented for the 7th time budget in the Indian Parliament. And this budget will tell you the outlook that what NDA government is going to do for the next 1 year. Hello and welcome to the In News series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about Union Budget 2024 and 5 and what are the highlights of this budget. And this session is important for your GS3 perspective. So moving towards the points of discussion part. First of all, we are going to discuss the themes, then priorities of the budget, and also what are the highlights and what are the gray areas of the budget. And after that, we are going to discuss practice question for prelims. So like interim budget, this time also the Union Budget 2024 and 5 had focused on the 4 categories. The first category is the Yuva, the second is Mahilaye, the third is poor, and the fourth is Annadata, which is farmer. So these are the 4 categories: Annadata, farmers, Garib, poor, Yuva, youth, and Mahilaye, women. So these are the 4 categories which government has focused on this budget also. Now we'll come to the themes part, that what are the themes of this budget. So in her budget speech, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that I am happy to announce the Prime Minister's package for 5 schemes. And this initiative will facilitate the employment and skills among the youths for the 4.1 crore youths over the 5-year of period. And this will also benefit the 2 lakh crore. It means that the government will spend 2 lakh crore on the youths, and this will benefit in terms of generation of employment and the skills among them. And they are also going to made provisions, which is that they will spend 1.48 lakh crore for education and employment and skillings of the youth. So if we'll talk about that, what are the main themes of this budget? So this is the employment, skilling, MSMEs and middle class. So these are the most important themes for this Union Budget 2024 and 5. Now we'll come to the budget priorities, that what is the priorities of budget this time. So we have productivity and resilience in agriculture, employment and skilling, inclusive human resource development and social justice, manufacturing and services, urban development, energy securities and infrastructure. So these are the priorities. We are going to discuss each priorities. So first we'll take the productivity and resilience in agriculture. So what this tells about that? So there will be the transformation of agricultural research, and which will comprehensively review of the agriculture and research setup, which will focus on raising the productivity and developing climate resilient varieties, which is very much important. Then there should be a Atmanirbharta, because in pandemic we have seen that Atmanirbharta, which is self-dependent, was so much focused by the Indian government. And for oil seeds such as the mustards, groundnuts, sesame, soybean and sunflower, because these are the areas which lacks Atmanirbharta, so that's why Atmanirbharta needed to these areas. Then also release of new varieties, 109 new high and climate resilient varieties of 32 field horticultures. Crops will be released for cultivation by farmers, and there will be also focus on vegetable production and supply chain. National cooperation will be implemented. And what is this cooperation policy about? So this policy talks about the systematic, orderly and all-round development of the cooperative sectors, and India is a land of the cooperative societies. Then there will be the focus on the natural farming, and around 1 crore farmers across the country will be initiated into the natural farming. And there will be the certification and branding for the next 2 years. 10,000 need-based bio-input resources centers will be installed, and there will be the promotion of shrimp production and exports through NABARD, and financing can be happen through NABARD. After that, there will be the promotion of digital public infrastructure, especially in agriculture area, and it will cover the farmers and their lands in 3 years, digital crop survey in 400 districts, and issuance of Jan Samarth based Kisan credit card. So these are the first priority, which is productivity and resilience in agriculture. So these are the areas and these are the initiatives which will be taken by the government, and they will invest so that will be more productive and will be more resilient in terms of agriculture. Then we have the second priority. Second priority is about employment and skillings. So as you already know that this election also, there was just so much of news of unemployment, unskilled labor. So this time the government has focused on the employment and skilling. So what will happen under this? 1 month wage to new entrants in all formal sectors in 3 installments up to 15,000, and expected to benefit 210 lakh youths. So there will be the 15,000 will be given by the government in formal sectors in 3 installments. So this is a new initiative. Then government will reimburse EPFO contribution to employers up to 3,000 per month for 2 years for all new hires, and these are expected to generate around 50 lakhs jobs. And there will be also linked to the first time employees incentives to both employee and employer for EPFO contribution, expected to benefit 30 lakh units. So these are the terms for the employment. Here we'll have a skilling program. So around 20 lakhs youth will be skilled over a 5-year period of time. 1,000 industrial training institutes will be upgraded in hub and spoke arrangements, and course content design aligned as per the skills needs of the industry. So 1,000 industrial training will be established. Then what it will facilitate? So there will be the higher participation of the workers, especially the women workforce, by setting up the working women hostels in collaboration with the industry and establishing creches. So there is a particular focus given to the women workforce by providing them hostels, by providing them creches so that they can work effectively. Then loans up to rupees 7.5 lakhs with a guarantee from promoted fund, and expected to help 25,000 students every year. And then there will be also financial support for loans up to 10 lakh for higher education, direct e-vouchers to 1 lakh students every year, annual interest subvention of 3%. So what all these graphs tells about? So all these graphs tells about that this time the government has envisioned that they will employ the youth and they will also make them skilled so that they can get employment easily. And if there is a problem of what you can say unskilled labor in our country, so by these means they are going to eradicate such kind of the problems. Now we'll come to the another one, which is about inclusive human resource development and social justice. So first of all, we'll discuss about the Purvodaya. And what is this Purvodaya about? So this will centered around the eastern parts of the country, Vikas bhi, Virasat bhi. And there are planned to endow rich states in eastern parts covering the Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh for generation of economic opportunity to attain Viksit Bharat. And as we had already discussed in interim budget that India has planned to achieve and to become Viksit Bharat by 2047. So this is the plan of this Vikas bhi and Virasat bhi. And there is also Amritsar Kolkata industrial corridor with the development of industrial node at Gaya. So special emphasis has been given to the Bihar in eastern region because Bihar needs special support because of backwardness, because of lack of infrastructure, because of lack of various schemes in the Bihar. Then there is an allocation of more than rupees 3 lakh crore for schemes benefiting women and girls. So here there is a special provision for women and girls, and also Pradhan Mantri Janjatiya Unnat Gram Abhiyan. So as the name suggests, this is related to the tribal communities of this country. So this will improve socio-economic condition of tribal communities of this country, which will cover 63,000 villages, benefiting 5 crore tribal people. So this is for the social justice. Here women are also covered, the tribal people are also covered. The areas which lacks what you can say upfront development, so those areas are also covered, especially the eastern parts of the country. Now we have another program which is about more than 100 branches of India Post Payment Bank will be set up in northeastern region. As you already know that this region also needs a special attention, and there are so much ethnic clashes. so much of lack of infrastructure development in these regions. So these kind of schemes will benefit the development of the northeastern region. And then there will be the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act, and under this act there will be financial support given to the Andhra Pradesh. 15,000 crore will be arranged in financial year 24 and 25, and then completion of Polavaram irrigation project ensuring food security of the nation, essential infrastructure such as water, power, railway and roads in Koparthi node on the Visakhapatnam Chennai industrial corridor, and Orvakal node on Hyderabad Bangalore industrial corridor. So we have seen that there will be the financial support given to the state of Andhra Pradesh, and there will be the establishment and development of industrial corridors in the Andhra Pradesh led area. Now we'll have fourth, which is manufacturing and services. So manufacturing service, what will happen under this? Credit guarantee scheme for MSMEs in manufacturing sector, enhance scope of mandatory onboarding TREDS, MSME units for food irradiation and quality safety testing, and new assessment model of MSME credit. Mudra loans, the limit enhanced to 20 lakhs under the current 10 lakh, the Tarun category. So Tarun, there are different category under the Mudra loans. So Tarun category, which consists more than 5 lakhs. So under Tarun category, there will be the enhanced to what you can say rupees 20 lakhs credit supposed to MSME during stress period. So we had already discussed in economic survey that MSME needs credit support. There is a huge credit gap in MSME, and that's why MSMEs are not developing. So this time the government has decided that credit enhancement will be there, and which was the bridge. There was a bridge of credit support to MSME. So this bridge will be fulfilled. And then there is another kind of development, 12 industrial parks under the National Industrial Corridor Development Program, rental housing with dormitory type of accommodation. You often have seen that so many industrial workers are living in a tent, living in a bamboo roofs and unroof also. So they sleep like this. So this time the government has decided that dormitory setup will be provided to them, and with the support of public-private partnership and critical mineral mission, domestic production, recycling and overseas acquisition. And also there will be a special opportunity for the interns of this country. So schemes for providing internship opportunity in 500 top companies to 1 crore youths for 5 years, and there will be the allowance of 5,000 per month. And in order to that, 6,000 assistants will be given by the company under CSR, which is corporate social responsibility. So there will be the 5,000 per month, and another 6,000 will be given to them under the CSR. Now we'll come to the another one, which is about urban development. So urban development is also needed, and under this we are going to study about the encouraging states to lower stamp duties to properties purchased by women. Here also special focus has been given to the women, and then envisioning a scheme to develop 100 weekly hearts street foods hubs to select cities. So we have seen that there is a special emphasis for the Yuva, there is a special emphasis for the Mahilaएं, women, and also transit oriented development plans for 14 large cities and with the population of above 30 lakhs. So there will be other development and water management, because water crisis is huge, especially in cities. So there will be special focus for the water management, and there will be the promotion of the water supply, sewage treatment and solid waste management projects. Then we have this PM Awas Yojana Urban 2.0, and under this there will be the fulfillment of needs of 1 crore urban poor and middle class families, and with the investment of rupees 10 lakh crore by the government. And also there will be the enabling of the facilities like transports from cities to different parts of the world, from residence place to another your workplace. So there will be the more focus on the enabling policies and regulation for efficient, transparent rental housing market. So there will be also facility for the rental housing market, because so many people migrate to the cities and they need rent. So there will be also emphasis on the rental housing market. Then we come to the another one, which is about the energy security. So energy security, what government has decided to do under this, initiatives with private sector in nuclear energy, setting up Bharat Small Reactors, R&D for Bharat Small Modular Reactors. Then there will be the energy audit, financial support for shifting of micro and small industries to cleaner forms of energy, because we had discussed about that MSMEs needs credit growth, and because of that lack of finances, lack of money, they often tend to go very polluted methods because they lacks different kind of support. So if the government will provide them credit support and financial support, then they will also shift to the more cleaner energy form and facilitate investment grade energy audit in 60 cluster. Next phase expand to 100 clusters. Pumped storage facilities for electricity storage and facilitation of smooth integration of growing share of renewable energy, and then thermal power plants. So what all these energy shows that they are focusing on the solar, they are focusing on wind energy, then they are focusing on thermal power plants, nuclear energy. So many forms of energy are highlighted by the government this time, and there will be the special focus on PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Under this, what will happen that 1 crore household obtain free electricity up to 300 units every month. So this is about PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Now we'll come to the another one, which is about the infrastructure. So under this, there is a provision of 11,000 crore for infrastructure, which is 3.4% of the GDP, total GDP. Rupees 1.5 lakh crore to states as long as term interest free loans to support the resource allocations, and there will be also a connectivity, weather connectivity to 25,000 rural habitations. Irrigation and flood mitigation, there is a special because there are areas, there are fields which lacks irrigation facilities, and flood is a constant phenomena, especially in the states like Kerala, Assam, Bihar. So there this time the government has also decided that there should be a flood management. So financial support for projects with the estimated cost of rupees 11,500 crores such as Koshi Mechi Interstate Link and 20 other ongoing new schemes, assistance for flood management and related projects in Assam, Sikkim and Uttarakhand, assistance for reconstruction and rehabilitation in Himachal Pradesh, because these are the hilly areas and they lacks infrastructural development and there is so much problem of flood in these areas. So the government has decided that they will have a special focus onto these areas. Now we have another one which is about the tourism. So India's strength is tourism because it is very historically, culturally vibrant country. So development of Vishnupat Temple Corridor and Mahabodhi Temple Corridor model into the Kashi Vishwanath Temple Corridor. So recently we have seen that there was Kashi establishment and development of Kashi Vishwanath Temple Corridor, and on this model there will be the development of Vishnupat Temple Corridor in Gaya and Mahabodhi Temple Corridor, and there will be the comprehensive development initiative for Rajgir, which is in Bihar, because Rajgir is a very ancient city and it is also one of the city which was the capital of the Magadhan Empire. So that's why it has a huge historical what you can say significance, and it is very significant for tourist point of view. So the government has decided that they will focus the Rajgir, and also we have recently seen that the Nalanda University was new Nalanda University was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So there will be the special focus on the new Nalanda University and development of Nalanda as a whole, and there will be also assistance provided to development of Odisha for its scenic beauty and temples, monuments, craftsmanship, wildlife sanctuary. So what this tourism sector tells about that, there are areas, especially the Bihar tourism needs to develop, and government has focused on Bihar and Odisha tourism a lot. Now we'll come to the another one which is about innovation, research and development. So under this there will be operationalization of Anushandhan National Research for basic research and prototype development, private sector driven research and innovation at commercial scale with financing pool of rupees 1 lakh crore. There will be special focus for the space economy. A venture capital fund of rupees 1,000 crore is to be set up. So this also tells that the government is also working into the scientific development, research development, and they're establishing various research sectors. They are spending money, but it needs to be worked more. Now we have another one which is about the rural and urban land related action. So this is about the next generation reform, which is the ninth one. Unique land parcel identification number of Bhu Aadhaar for all, survey of map subdivision as per current ownership, linkages to the farmers registers. Land records in urban areas will be digitized with GIS mapping, digitization of cadastral map, and establishment of land registry. So we have a lot of issues with the distribution of land in our country. So many lands are still disputed. So it's high time that there should be digitization of land records, and so that there should be transparent system for the land allocation in our country. So when we talk about the land distribution, land purchasing, and allocation of land, it needs to be digitized. So that's why what we have seen, that next generation reform. So this is the ninth priorities of the budget 2024 and 5. Now we will come to the robust economic foundation. So here, first of all, we'll see the improvement in current account deficit. So we have seen that there is an improvement in current account deficit. Then India grew at 8.2% in financial year 2024. So this is the real GDP, and this is the real GDP growth. So here we have seen that India growth was in 2022 was fast, but still it lowered down, but still it is upping, going ahead. So it is at 8.2% in financial year 2024. So this is about that. And now we'll come to the expansionary PMI index. So this is the purchasing managers index, and in this two sectors are only followed. The first sector is services and the sector is manufacturing. And this is not by government index, this is by the investors, this is by the business person who invest in such kind of business. So they are saying that these are expansionary in nature, both services are and manufacturing. But if we discuss about both, those services are expanding more or rapidly. Then we'll have decline in gross NPAs of SCBs, so scheduled commercial banks. So there is a decline in non-performing assets, which is a very positive side for the economy. Then we have decrease in fiscal deficit of percentage of GDP. Then what we have seen, that what is the fiscal deficit? So fiscal deficit, that when your expenditure exceeds the income. So here we have improved in fiscal deficit also, and right now it is 5.6% in financial year 2024. Then there is a taming inflation. So earlier there was so much inflation. You can see in 2022 it was 6.7%, but right now it is 5.4%. So what is the taming inflation suggest? So taming inflation suggests that there are chances, and the inflation rate is improving day by day, and there are chances to improve the economy by robust economic policy, by robust monetary policies. So in this way we can control the inflationary things. Then sector specific custom duty proposal. So custom duty is that kind of duty which is levied on the products which are transportable in nature and which can be transported to other parts of the country. It means that there is a levy of taxes of imports and exports. So in under this fully exempt 3 more cancer medicines for custom duties, reduce BCD to 15% on mobile phones, mobile PCB and charger, reduce custom duty on gold and silver to 6% and platinum to 6.4%, reduce BCD and shrimp and fish feed by 5%, and fully exempt custom duties on 25 critical minerals. So we have seen that government has focused on critical minerals, pharmaceuticals area, golds and silver, and especially the shrimp thing. Now we'll come to the another one, which is about the direct tax proposal. So short-term gains of financial assets to attract 20% tax rates, and financial and non-financial assets of 12.5%. If we'll talk about that, government has abolished the angel tax for all classes of investor. So government wants that there should be the promotion of angel investor in our country. Simpler tax regime operate domestic cruise, provide for safe harbor rates for foreign mining companies, and there is a decrease in corporate tax rate on foreign companies, which has reduced by 5%. So earlier it was 40% and right now it is just 35%. So what is corporate tax rate? So it is a tax rate that if there is a corporate company and if there is a profit of corporate companies, so the government imposed tax on them. So that tax has reduction this time. So earlier that was 40% and right now it is 35%. Now we'll come to the another one, which is about the simplifying new tax regimes. So earlier it was up to 7 lakh, but right now it is that your salary will be taxable from 3 lakhs onwards. So for 0 to 3 lakhs it is nil, and for 3 to 7 lakhs it is 5%, 7 to 10 lakhs 10%, then 10 to 12 lakhs 15%, then 12 to 15 lakhs 20%, and 15 lakhs above 30%. But here there is a twist that standard deduction for salaried employee has increased for 50,000 to rupees 75,000, and for pension rupees 15,000 to 25,000. So there is an increase of 25,000 here, and there is an increase of 10,000 here. And what is this standard deduction? So by using standard deduction, whatever the taxable amounts you have, you can use this standard deduction for the tax thing, and for to improve your tax structure, and for also to not to evade tax but to give less tax to the government. Then we'll come to the that where rupee is coming to the Indian economy. So if we'll talk about the which has a more contribution, so 27% has been, which is the highest contribution by the borrowing and other liabilities. Then we have this income tax, which is 19%, and in the comment section you have to tell me that income tax is direct tax or indirect tax. Then we have union excise duties 5%, GST and other taxes 18%, corporation tax 17%. So if we'll talk about the huge contribution, then we have borrowing and other liabilities, which is 27%. Then we have income tax, then we have corporation tax, and then GST. If we'll talk about the lowest contribution, then non-debt capital receipts, then customs, non-tax receipts 9%, and then we have also union excise duties. So these are the least contributors and these are the highest contributors. Now we'll come to that where rupees goes. So most rupees, if we'll talk about that, most of the rupees where it goes, so it goes to state share of taxes and duties, which is 21%. After that we had interest payment, which is 19%. Then we have central sector scheme excluding capital outlay of defense and subsidy, which is 16%. We'll talk about the less. So less goes to the pensions and other expenditures 9%, centrally sponsored scheme just 8%, and there is a difference between central sector scheme and centrally sponsored scheme. So in the comment section you have to also tell me that what is the difference between central sector scheme and centrally sponsored scheme, and then also less on defense, which is 8%, and subsidies just 6%. Now we'll come to the expenditure of major items, that on which areas government is spending a lot. So if we'll talk about the defense, so there is what you can say 45 lakh crore in defense. Then we have rural development 26 lakhs crore into this. Then we have this agriculture and allied activities 15,000. So if we'll talk about least, so least we have on the commerce and industry, and highest we have on the defense, and in education also we have reasonable amount of money which has been spent. Now we'll come to the another one, which is about the allocation of major schemes in rupees crore. So if we'll talk about the budget estimates of the last year and now, so we'll see the significant change into this. So if we'll talk about the MG Narega, so it was 60,000 crore and this time 86,000 crore. So there was an increase. And also if we'll talk about nuclear power project 442, and there was a so much increase in nuclear power project, which is 2,228 crore. So there was a so much of jump into this project. Then if we'll talk about the research and development project, so it was 840 earlier and now it is 1,200 crore. So this is also a significant development. PLI for pharmaceutical industry 1,200 and 2,143. So this has also seen a significant change. So if we'll talk about the most, then most we have seen the nuclear power projects in expenditure. Now we have development of semiconductors and display manufacturing. There was a more than double jump into this thing. So from 3,000 it has become 6,903. Direct benefit transfers LPG, so 180 to 1,500 crore. So there was also what you can say so much of jump into LPG. Then we have what you can say solar power, 4,970 to 10,000. So it is also more than doubled because government is focusing a lot on renewable resources and natural resources. Lines of credit under ITI scheme 1,300 to 3,849. So government has significantly increased their expenditure and money into the development of this area. But most significant we have seen to the what you can say nuclear energy, semiconductors and LPG. Now we'll come to the another one. Another one is about revenue receipts. So capital receipts and revenue receipts. So revenue receipts is obtained from the daily things by selling goods and services, and capital receipts has been gained by creating liabilities, creating assets, and by selling assets. So this is a difference between revenue receipts and capital receipts. So what we have seen that it has increased 13.13, and this capital receipts had decreased, which is 16.9 crore. And what we have here, we have seen the revenue expenditure. So revenue expenditure has rose by 37.1 from 35.4, and effective capital expenditure, so it has also increased by 15. So this is about the budget this time, and I hope you got the highlights of the budget and you got the major idea of the budget that government is focusing on which sector. So in all slide we had discussed that government has focused a lot on the skills development among the youth. Government has special focus on the women development. They had focused on women education, women entrepreneur skills, women's safety, and so many other things. Government had started spending a lot on LPG scheme, nuclear energy, because there was a constant thing related to the pollution. Then government has also started spending on what you can say different kind of sectors which are related to digital infrastructure, and it is trying to make agriculture digitally viable, and because there was a constant gap in digital infrastructure, especially in agriculture. And we have seen that inflation is also improving, and we have this taming inflation. So what this budget suggests about? So this budget suggests about that the country is growing on a right path, and till now it has given a positive outlook, and it has increased expenditure to many areas, especially to the marginalized section of the society, those who are the needy ones. So now we'll come to the question part. The question is, in the recent budget, what is the primary focus with respect to employment and skilling? Increasing foreign investments, enhancing agricultural subsidies, facilitating employment and skilling opportunity for 4.1 crore youth, reducing defense spending. So you have to answer this into the comment section. This is very easy one. I hope you like this budget session. If you have any queries related to this budget session, kindly ask in the comment section, and do revise this budget session by watching this video again, because this thing is very much important for your prelims examination, for your mains examination. Many of you are appearing for mains, and so they will give that how budget has outlook about women, about the youth, about the skills, about different kind of defense thing. So they can ask any area, they can ask about the pollution. So you have to be aware about that what budget tells about. So thank you and have a nice day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.